You're very welcome to Off the Brawl here on Off the Ball. I'm in the hot seat this week for Ronan Mullen, and joined in the studio by Andy Lee and Paddy Donovan. Very welcome, lads, and good to have you in, Paddy.
Thanks for having us here. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to you in the next half an hour or so, just revealing what it's like training with Andy. Hear any stories about him?
It's good so far, so good, you know. Andy's a good guy, and we have some good moments together.
It's only a few, the rare ones.
It's the start of a beautiful friendship, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is. It is friendship, but also a business agreement, and also a serious business in terms of what we do in the ring, what we do in the gym, and we have fun and are good friends outside of it. But in terms of what we do in the gym, it's very serious, and Paddy's serious about what he does. So that's what we like. That's what I like. Yeah,
it's very important for the relationship that you do get on. I'm sure there's plenty of situations where there's fighters that don't particularly like their trainers, but they realise that maybe this is the best trainer for me.
Yeah.
In terms of,
I think it's very hard to separate the two, though. I think it has to be some sort of bond.
Yeah.
Because you have to kind of trust him, and you have to believe in what he's telling you. Otherwise, the moment you don't believe or you lose trust, I think that's it. You know, if you don't fully buy into what a coach is telling you to do, the writing's on the wall then, isn't it? I don't think you can go forward or...
Yeah. Well, you don't have long to wait. Friday week is your pro
the 11th
debut.
of October, so that's the first fight. So we're looking forward to that. Training's going good, you know.
Yeah, I'd say, how have you found it since the announcement that you were going pro?
To be honest, I think it's the best move for me.
Yeah.
I think it'll suit my style, you know. We've been working on a lot of things in the gym, and I want to showcase that come the 11th of October.
Yeah, and just what kind of changes have you noticed since the day that you decided, right, we're gonna go into the pro ranks?
It's little things, but I know things are going to be very effective for my boxing.
Yeah.
Andy's a great coach, as I said, and he's shown me how to box like more of a pro than an amateur.
Yeah.
As in the amateurs, I'm bouncing on my toes a lot, but as the pros, I'm settling down and starting to punch more. I'm just looking forward to it, you know. Yeah,
a lot of people would have said, with your style anyway, that you would be suited to the pro game. So, Andy, how many... I know there's a lot of time to work with here, but what kind of adjustments?
Paddy's style kind of lent itself to a professional style anyway, as an amateur, but it's just about being relaxed internally and physically, and also not pulling out with your head high. But in terms of Paddy's reflexes, his speed, the way he punches already, and the power he punches with, those things are all there. So his technique is he's probably ahead of the game in that sense, but just to iron out some of the old habits of the amateur boxing, which is always pulling out with your head high, and kind of maybe loading up too much and going for the kill all the time. So he's got to just dress his man up a little bit more and have a bit more finesse about his boxing. But yeah, he's working very well. He's sparring all the time. He's sparring with pros now. We've been training pretty consistently since I'd say June, July. He had a little cut which happened early in the year, so we had to let that heal. Otherwise he would have already had his debut. So the plan is for him to fight October 11th and then fight November 16th in Glasgow. One more early in the next year, and then hopefully, we've had a verbal agreement, but nothing yet, that he'll fight on the Mike Conlon undercard in New York in March. So
Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
brilliant.
That's what we got. That's what going to be his biggest base. Because I think he has the style and has also the ability to go all the way in America. You know, it's like you can only go certain fighters you can only take over there as maybe a showcase or something, but they can only go so far. But Paddy has the ability to compete over there with the best, and so that's where we looked for him to fight.
Even when Andy mentions Patrick's Day, that must get...
It gives me goosebumps, you know, it gives me goosebumps, even thinking about it. But I'm just looking forward, as I said, from the 11th of October, get that one out of the way. Yeah. Then we move on into Scotland. Then one in the end of January. And then St. Patrick's Day, if it comes, that'll be a big day for me.
The styles in terms of southpaw, does it obviously helps?
It helps.
Are you actually...
Natural southpaw.
Yeah, because we found out, Andy, if I gave you the
right-handed.
pen... Yeah, he's right-handed, but obviously...
I think it works for us, like in the gym.
It does definitely work for us, yeah, and a lot of things, a lot of similarities between me and Paddy in terms of our background and the cities we're from, and all of that, but also our styles. And he can do things that I couldn't do, you know, in a way. So I'm adjusting to him as well, and I'm learning as he's learning, you know. And we're finding out each other. Like the first year or so, just be finding out how each other works and building up that kind of language in the gym. Where if I have to say something, it'll be, you know, like pigeon speak, whatever it is, you know, in between, where I say like take your head out this way or exit this way or whatever it says, whatever phrase we use for each move, or he'll know what it is then. Yeah. And so we're building that up, that rapport, and he's doing, like, the thing with Paddy is, which has impressed me, is that if he comes back to the corner and I'll say, well, look, just work your jab this round and work on your exits, and that's all he'll do, you know. So he does take instruction very well, and so we'll see. Look, it's early, it's the first step in what should be a long and successful career for him.
Yeah, and it's important in the professional ranks to entertain, but your style has always been entertaining anyway. But
yeah, mostly, so far so good anyway. In the amateurs it was entertaining, and I'm hoping to bring it to the pros, but not try entertain, just be me, just be natural, just what I've learnt with Andy and what I have, and just display it when I fight, and I hope it entertains the crowd.
Myself and Craig O'Brien have some really good spirited spars so far. And that, like, you know, like, they'd be better than a lot of the fights you'd see, you know, you really would. They really are.
No, it's exciting times.
So, yeah.
We might talk about the cards later on, but speaking of, I know, the welterweight division, big fight that's just gone by, Errol Spence Jr, Shawn Porter. It was the kind of fight that you expect when you see Shawn Porter. Errol Spence kind of said, you know what, I want to show that I can beat him at his own game. Dropped him late on, goes to the judges.
I think it was lucky, yeah. I think but like, that was a pivotal moment in the fight, and even you could see it was written over his face, like
Porter's face. He knew
as soon as he was like, oh god, I know, like, because up to that point he was doing, like, he had the momentum. So yeah, he had the momentum. The fight was close. The fight was even close with the knockdown, but like, and I knew it was going to be that type of fight because of the way the styles are and how Porter's a great fighter. Like.
Nightmare to score his fights, by the way.
Yeah.
So tight, like every single round was so competitive, it was so tight, straight to the end. I had him level going into the 11th round. That knockdown was probably the pinnacle moment in the fight, like, you know what I mean?
So if you're looking at the cards, 2 gave it to him by 5 rounds.
Yeah. And
then obviously the other one gave to Porter.
The thing is, you might give him by 5 rounds, but every round was like just giving it to him. So it looks good on the paper that maybe he won by 5 rounds, but all of those rounds were like so tight. But it was like this kind of thing that's come up since then has this weakened Porter in terms of the paper pound for pound. No, Spence in terms of the pound for pound.
I was going to ask you.
I can't believe that, and it's like Lomachenko against Campbell. You're fighting a good fight. You're never going to dominate them like that. You know, you never, like, there's been only Floyd Mayweather that could do that. You know, really go in with the best fighters and dominate them.
Yeah.
So like it only enhances Spence to me that he can win there with Porter and do that. And Porter is having not like an Indian summer, but like he's really, like, since the loss to Kell Brook and that kind of had that period, but he's kind of coming back. You know, like he's like, I think he's a fighter who's fighting with experience, seasoned. He knows his style now in terms of that he's got great movement, great feints, but also can box and will swarm in and out with will kind of overwhelm you with a lot of punches. Very hard style to box against, and I thought Spence did really, really well. Like, Spence showed that he can, like you said,
went to the body a lot more. Now, was it just me or watching the fight? Do you think that Spence landed a lot of low blows, or was it just
probably had to kind of do that? You know what I mean? The both of them got away with a couple of low shots, I think.
The Porter's trunks up a bit too high, maybe.
But it was just, he was clever as well, because it was always when the
referee was on the opposite side.
Yeah, I mean? So that's actually like
very smart, isn't it?
Yeah, it was quite clever. Like, few of them were seen. But Porter gave it back. Porter did give it back as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, it's up there for fight of the year, isn't it? Just because of the grade of both guys, the level they were fighting at, the skill level and the intensity, and then the fight itself. It's up there for not as nominated for fight of the year.
So afterwards, then, you know, we see Spence win. We think we know which fight we want, but. Danny Garcia then comes into the ring after, and it looks like that's going to be Spence's next fight. But
looks like a middleweight.
PBC put out a tweet.
Yeah, I see. What is this? Yeah,
like, this is ridiculous. So the tweet basically said, "Who would you like to see Spence fight next? Now that he's unified the welterweight division, 4 options, right? So Manny Pacquiao, Danny Garcia, Julian Williams, or a rematch with Shawn Porter." And you're thinking there might be one lad missing there that we all want to see, but it just seems like this is going to drag on, isn't it?
It does, but the only kind of chance I give it is that while the Fight and Fury, supposedly there will be this cross-platform, cross-promotion chance for these guys to work together in some capacity, which might lead to a fight in 2020, maybe the end of the year for Spence Crawford. But of those options that they tweeted, I would like to see a rematch.
Yeah,
I think
you'd rather that than Garcia.
Rematch, I think.
Yeah,
at the end of next year.
Yeah. I think Garcia is a good fighter, great fighter, and it would be like.
But I think there's better fights out there.
Yeah, and I think the rematch is.
Spence Pacquiao.
Did you see the clip of the two of them? Kind of even at the post-fight press conference, the two of them were going out at Spence and Porter. Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, that's selling the next one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. Like it's good that both men kind of they weren't. There's always this kind of not sometimes, but sometimes there is a kind of fake. Humility, where you're giving each other respect and you're praising each other. Yeah, they did that, but like they were still fighting their corners and both held their own.
Well, we'd want to watch it again. Would there be any difference in the outcome, or do you think more of the same? Spence
probably maybe more emphatically next time. Yeah, maybe. But there is an argument for the rematch, And Porter, I don't know. If Porter boxed smart, which he did in those kind of from round 7 to 11, where he was on his toes and then darting in with straight shots and then hooks. Like his coach was saying, start to the body and come up. And that when he did that, it was effective,
Yeah.
But that was probably the best Porter we're going to see that night again.
Worry, isn't it?
Probably that's the best I've ever seen him. And I think the next time they fight, I think it'll be a one-way ticket. That's the way I see it.
This is obviously your division, but are you a student of the sport? Like, because there's boxers out there that they go in, they do their job, but they mightn't necessarily watch other fighters.
I really look up to Terence Crawford. I think he's exceptional talent, and I think he's the best around at the moment at my weight. But he moves up and down, don't he? And he's light welter.
He seems to be welter now all the time. Yeah, we watched recently.
Spence would be great. I think the end of next year, maybe if that one was to happen, that'd be a great fight.
A fight, and it kind of went under the radar. We watched the other day. It was Crawford against Benavidez. It was an excellent fight, wasn't it?
A very, very good fight. A very technical, very technical fight.
Benavidez played his partner. He was there all the way up until the end.
Crawford just kept more consistent, didn't he?
Is there an issue with Benavidez's knee in that fight?
Yeah, and
he got shot before, didn't he?
He seems to be. He's the brother of David Benavidez, who fought this weekend also.
Yeah, he was on the card,
isn't
he beat Darrell,
yeah.
But in terms of, I was thinking of other names in the welterweight division, it actually, the performance from Porter maybe gives Kell Brook more credit in the bank for the fact that he went over there and beat him.
Both men. Yeah. Both men. He's been there with both of them.
But we mentioned David Benavidez stopped Anthony Darrell in the 9th round, so he's super middleweight champion. Other things over the weekend, Daniel Dubois, talked about him, just keeps knocking lads out.
Yeah, how long is it going to be before he steps up, or what?
Yeah,
that's the thing with him, is that he's young and he's blasting through these fellas. But is he ready for the top tier yet? Probably not. But do you risk putting him in with somebody like, I don't know? See,
say for example, Derek Chisora now needs an opponent.
But it's a similar issue with the two promoters in England who don't work together.
Now, I'm not saying you throw Dubois in with Derek Chisora in a few weeks, because that would seem like a crazy decision, but they're the kind of lads maybe Dubois could be thrown in with in the next few months.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say, those are the type of guys. Obviously, there's this call for him and Joe Joyce.
Yeah.
Did you see? I haven't seen. I only seen some of the footage online. I didn't watch the full show from Albert Hall, but obviously Adam Booth took offence to how they were kind of speaking or presenting it to Joe Joyce, that they were putting it up to him, you know.
Yeah.
And he's kind of put into an awkward position where he had to kind of say yes or no to the fight. But it's an interesting scenario. Will that fight actually happen? You know, I don't know.
Well, the pressure will be on Joyce because he's much older. If Dubois loses, like, he's young enough that he can recover from it. But if Joyce loses,
what's he now? 30, 31, is it?
He's about 33. Yeah, he's around. He was the one who was in a rush, but that fight with Brian Jennings took a lot out of him, I think. You know, I see he's back in the gym. There was talk about him fighting Gerald Miller, Joe Joyce, but
he's back, is he? It's all forgotten.
Yeah, I know. And like
he'd be in the top 10 heavyweight pound for pound lists in no time.
And it was like training multiple drug tests will not even affect him.
Yeah,
like it's I don't know, sports in the bin.
So, well, you say that, but I'm excited for this weekend.
Yeah, well, the heavyweight division is his back, isn't it? In a big way. Still, it's going for.
We haven't talked to you since the Fury fight, have we? No, we have.
I'm not sure if we had. Not sure if we had it after BRAWL, have we? I don't think we have. It's been quite a few weeks.
I think you were away after we were talking about it.
I was in France. Yeah, you had Nile.
That's right, yeah. Sorry, we talked. Yeah. But, I mean, the talk anyway is the Wilder fight is going to happen. Now, Wilder and Ortiz
have announced it.
They're going November
22nd?
23rd, I think it is.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have it down here as November 23rd. Yeah. So that's in Las Vegas. Like, obviously, Ortiz almost pulled off an upset the last time, but Wilder's power got him out of trouble. Like,
it's probably 2-1 now, isn't he, Andy Ortiz?
I don't know. Like, I mean, with Wilder being so awkward and unconventional, someone who is a classic boxer like that could give him trouble. Like, he had him out last time.
He did. He had him nearly finished the last time, but he came back strong, didn't he?
But these fights, like, Fury's doing the right thing in having these fights and keeping active. Like, it's old school kind of way of throwbacks attitude, approach, where you keep active, you stay busy, even if you're not fighting the biggest names, you're in the gym, and you're sharpening your tools. But that's the risk you run, is that you might get a cut like that, and you have a tough fight. And now, like, I think it might be touch and go. I don't know. That's a serious cut to heal, like, in that time.
Surgery already done on it, so that obviously would probably put his comeback further down the line.
They'll have to have it in February because of.
Well, they have to.
The way it goes, and especially because it'll be on ESPN Plus. The college football, the college basketball, all goes on in March. You know,
madness. Yeah.
So they can't really push it that far back. So it has to be in February, I think.
Do you think they could heal by that?
I don't know. I'm sure they got the best surgeon. They would have got a plastic surgeon to do it. And it looks like, they put an update the other day on social media. It looks pretty. It looks like it's healing well.
Yeah,
Fury's cut, but
I'm sure Wilder would like to test it out. Are you surprised Wilder's actually? There was talk that this fight mightn't happen, the Wilder and Ortiz, and maybe the fact that we saw how
still
things
might not happen.
Yeah, like things can go up in smoke pretty quickly. Like,
still might not happen.
You know, we talked about it with Niall Kennedy when he was in, that any other fighter apart from Fury, that fight has stopped. You know.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, with the cut in Vegas. Yeah,
it was.
You saw. Well, it was interesting. They let the REL continue at the weekend. He had not as bad as cut, but certainly in a really bad place. He had a serious cut over his eye, on the eyelid, and they let him to continue. So maybe they are being a bit lenient.
I suppose it probably depends who it is.
Yeah.
Like, even, you know, watching the Spence and Porter fight, the referee, Jack Reese, was the referee, and he was obviously the referee that didn't wave Fury out in the 12th, which he would have been perfectly entitled.
One of the things, like, it's one of the things that peeved me about that, just if people watch the fight, every time he broke, he was pushing both fighters back, fully back. A lot of times it was Porter, because Porter was the aggressor.
Yeah.
And he was like, pushing him right back, like, physically, like, manhandle, like, that, like, we noticed the Hatton argument against Joe Cortez, that he was tired.
Mayweather.
He was favouring Mayweather, and he's taking out, and it would tire you out. Every time you come forward, someone's just, like, pushing you back.
Well, it would frustrate you.
It would as well, like.
Especially if you're trying to fight the inside, like, you know what I mean? You get pushed back out a couple of feet.
Physically push. If he says break and step back, that's fine, but don't break and push a man back.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it to the heavyweights.
Ref watch. We should do a ref watch, like VAR watch.
But just in terms of the whole heavyweight dynamic now, the way it is, so if he does fight Ortiz, as I said, the reason I'm surprised, because we saw with Fury, like, what was dubbed the gimme fight could have gone up in smoke. So there's just so much money at stake here. If Wilder
the only thing
was to lose.
Why the reasons for doing it is that it's a southpaw, it's a technical boxer, and he might need it. Would have been like he might need this fight just to get sharp. Who knows? He might blow him out with it. Maybe they know something like that we don't. Maybe he'll just go for him. He won't be as flustered in the first fight because of all that trickiness that was put in front of him by Ortiz, all of that slickness and all those old Cuban tricks. And maybe this time he'll just go for him and take him out. Who knows? You know. But it's up to those.
I think that'll be a great fighting.
It will be a good fight, yeah.
Speaking of good fights, we're looking forward to Triple G and Derevyanchenko this weekend.
Yeah.
I know, obviously, Irish interest because we know Joe Ward is going to be on the undercard. We'll get to him in a bit. But Golovkin now, you know, he's signed this big 6-fight deal with his own. He's already had the fight with Rolls. You know, there's always going to be talk of a third fight with Canelo. But he's getting on, and Derevyanchenko is not exactly a handy fight, is it?
It's a test. Have you watched much?
Yeah, he's been a good amateur, hasn't he? He's done a lot of the amateurs, I think. So it'll be a test
WSB.
And he was in the WSB, yeah. So I think it'll be a good fight. You know,
actually fought for the Kazakh team in the WSB.
And Triple G ain't getting no younger, you know. So.
No, well, that's the thing, isn't it? And you kind of know that Canelo's team are looking at that thinking, like the longer we keep him, the easier the third fight will be.
I think it'll happen, Andy, because Eddie Hearn has signed him, you know, and Eddie Hearn makes big fights.
I think, yeah, I don't know unless he looks sensational again, and which he might against Derevyanchenko. Then there might be some push for, because I think Alvarez is probably just interested in getting titles now and big paydays, and going back to fight Golovkin, it has to generate, you know, some major pay-per-view buys us. Or
that's it. If you're Canelo's team and you watch Triple G this weekend and you think he doesn't look that sharp, then maybe they decide let's go, because you know we can put any debate. I think
it's important that he looks good.
I think it's important that he looks good. Yeah, I think so too. Because if he looks good, there's a better chance of the third happening. I think.
Like, you look at the style of Derevyanchenko and the amateur pedigree and all that, and you think this is a tough fight because and the way the style, like the fight against Danny Jacobs. He didn't look like he had the heart for it. I don't know, like.
But that was a strange fight, though, because they
knew each other. They'd sparred together. Had the same coach.
Yeah, and his coach had to side with Danny Jacobs, so he's there looking at his own coach in the opposite corner.
So maybe you can put an asterisk beside that, but like stylistically, it makes for a good fight. And he's the younger, fresher man. So Golovkin's going to have to show a lot. This will be his first real test without Abel Sanchez.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And Rosier, the trainer we're talking about, Andre Rosier, who was Derevyanchenko's coach, was obviously in the corner for Jacobs and Triple G. You know, he was there for Curtis Stevens as well. So this is his third crack at Triple G. But it's interesting to listen to him talking about Triple G before, and you know, he's pretty much said, look, you know, Derevyanchenko can take a punch. We know the way Triple G fights when he's throwing his combinations, but we need to make sure if you do get hit, you only get hit with the single shot and you get out before the shots land. You know, he's going to, like, I'm sure he has a plan, whether they can execute it or not. It
sounds quite negative to me. Now, I haven't, obviously, just hearing it from you, but it sounds quite like they're thinking about safety, and that's how Jacobs,
like a tactical fight.
Fought him. Jacobs fought him that time, even though he came on later rounds. He fought a good fight. Jacobs. He was smart. He moved. He used his defense. He used his height and mobility. And ultimately he got knocked down. But it's cost him the decision of the knockdown. But had he been a bit more aggressive, maybe he could have got the nod that night. So, like you used to mention, 2 times being beaten, the coach by Golovkin, maybe there's a little, not fear factor, but he knows what he's in with, you know, in terms of...
Probably knows what he has to do this time around, maybe. Maybe I think this is his best chance, this fighter that he has now.
And is there a case that what could end up happening is it's quite cagey in the first few rounds from Derevyanchenko's point of view, because that's the way maybe his team will tell him to approach it, but they might realise throughout or during the fight this isn't the same Triple G that fought Danny Jacobs a few years ago.
Yeah, you can't allow Golovkin's a fighter you can't allow to get momentum.
I think you can't let him dictate the fight. I think you have to do something that that changes Triple G from walking you down consistently in a fight, because that's when he's at his best, isn't he, Andy? He's dangerous there, like, you know.
He's like a machine. But if he was to lose, dare I say it, he's only lost one fight, but what happens for Triple G if I mentioned the big 6-fight deal he has with his own?
I think there could be, if it's depending on the fight, you'd get a rematch.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. He could warrant that because of who he is. He's standing in boxing. But other than that, there's not much, you know. Do you go for fight Saunders at super middleweight, get for that belt?
Yeah.
And see, then that's a pathway back to Canelo. Who knows? What do you think about Joe Ward? He's fighting the guy's what?
So he's
5-1?
fighting a guy called Marco Delgado, 5-1, 6-rounder. So, you know Joe Ward. The word is he's in great shape for it.
Paddy knows him better than I would.
Yeah, I looked at his opponent. He's 5 fights, 4 wins, 1 loss. Yeah, he's tough coming forward, and he's just a slugger. Like, I think he'll suit Joe. You know what I mean? Joe's
it's good matchmaking in the sense that the guy looks great on paper, 4-1, but in reality he can't really fight. He could probably, you know, definitely wouldn't win a senior title.
Say you're in Joe Ward's corner on Saturday night. What are you looking for in his pro debut?
What am I looking for? To look, obviously, he has to put on a show in New York, make a statement, and try and get the guy out there within 2 or 3 rounds. Go in there, go out there and blast him out, because the fella he's fighting is there for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he probably will. Joe probably will. He looks like he's lost a lot of weight. Looks like in great shape.
Slim down,
He looks like in probably the best shape I've seen him in. So that's positive for him. He had like a week or two to see with Buddy McGirt.
See what he's worked on in training, you know, see the improvement he's been made adjusting to being a pro.
With the setup that he has, is that he's training in Ireland with Jimmy Payne.
And then he's going out
then he's going out for a few weeks. But it seems like he's had limited time with Buddy McGirt for this fight. So I don't expect there to be much change in his style. You know, I don't see there being much.
Yeah, but if you're in the crowd in New York on Saturday night and you see Joe Ward coming in and he gets some guy out of there in a couple of rounds with a few vicious shots, you know, that gets people's attention to start off with. How much, like we talked about Paddy's style from amateur to pro, does Joe have more to do? More adjusting, do you think?
I think so, a little bit more. Joe's a counterpuncher, he's a fast counterpuncher. That's not always going to work. Especially with journeymen who know how to survive, you kind of have to initiate it, you know, and really put it on them. Yeah. I don't know, Paddy would know Joe's style a lot more than I would.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure really, to be honest, about Joe right now. I'd say maybe in a couple of years he'll be a better pro, but Joe's still he's obviously a brilliant amateur, but as a pro, as Andy says, your man is going to be tough, he's going to come forward, and Joe's going to have to show the crowd that he has more than what he's displaying as an amateur. I know he's done a lot as an amateur, but show him something different, show him knockout, show him, you know, just entertain.
It's the legs, I think, because Joe has always had very straight, kind of lazy legs.
Kind of, yeah.
Very straight, lazy legs, and where he kind of just leans back, leans back, and throws.
He can do it all day against you, you know what I mean? But
like, he's got rapid fire hands.
Yeah.
But when I've ever watched him, he's kind of had lazy legs, you know? So it's important that he kind of gets more into his legs. And it's not to pull out all the time, not lean back.
The setup that he has now, that you mentioned that he's going to be training over here and then he goes over to Buddy McGirt, how long is that sustainable for?
It's up to him. It's up to them, isn't it? Paddy would know.
It's obviously going to be very tough. He's based in Ireland. His family is in Ireland.
Yeah.
Joe's not good going away from home. He never has been. So it's going to be tough if he's just going to do it for a couple of years. Tops, I'd say a couple of years, maybe 2 years.
It's like he's having fun, though.
He's enjoying it, but you know what I mean? Being away from your family back in Ireland for 5 or 6 weeks at a time for every fight, it's going to be tough, you know what I mean? It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see when his next fight is after this, because he needs to get. It'd be easier for him if he went over there.
Got 2 fights.
Yeah, had a 5-fight period, had a 5-week period, but had two fights. Now.
Didn't come back, maybe, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly one to watch out for. Let's talk about the 11th of October. You're fighting in Belfast. It's the Paddy Barnes is headline on the cards, fighting the European flyweight title. He's taking on Jay Harris. So you have your opponent.
Well,
Danny Martinez, I think is his name. We had an opponent who was Eduardo Valverde, and he pulled out just yesterday.
Yeah.
The way it is at this level of fights, the guy we had was 2-2. We had one guy who was 4-1, but he pulled out as well before Valverde, and now he's got an opponent who's 6-4. And it looks like it's not a typical, for me it's not a tip, like it's not a walk, you know what I mean? It's a fight. It is a fight.
It's a challenge, you know.
Yeah, that's the way it should be, because he shouldn't be fighting guys with twice as many losses as, especially with Paddy's background and his ability in terms of what he done as an amateur. So he's got a test 6-round fight in the Ulster Hall, which will be a great atmosphere, sold out. All the Paddy's family are coming and friends. We're actually going to be, hopefully get off the BRAWL there.
Yeah,
a bit of footage. But Donald McRae's coming over. He's going to do a feature on Paddy. Yeah. Which is great exposure, this early in his career. So,
and you seem quite relaxed when you constantly had Andy going, who's my opponent? We know who he is, or are you just...
We just train. We've been training well together, and I'm in good nick. I'm confident whoever Andy puts in, I can take care of him. And we want a challenge, we don't want someone that, as Andy said, we just get in and we blow him away in a few seconds. We want someone that can fight, kind of bring the best out of me. So we're looking forward to it.
What about the showbiz side of things, like, the ring walk,
We're like Prince Nazim coming in.
Can you master jumping over the top rope?
He hasn't even picked his ring walk song or anything like that. But I think it's all second.
That can evolve, though.
But we put it out to, after BRAWL, listeners, pick a song for Paddy's ring walk.
Yeah, have you got a type of music you like?
Do you want really? I just, whatever the crowd would enjoy, I'll play it,
Something that will get the crowd into it.
Can't use Sweet Caroline, because that'll be overplayed. Tyson Fury's obviously taken Fury's on fire. He's got his own words in it.
Donovan's on fire, doesn't really rhyme, does it? We'll see.
Is that something you put much thought into?
Never. I would often just say play what you like when I walk into the ring,
Because I know we had Luke Keeler in talking about when he had the rematch with Conrad Cummins, and he had picked out a certain tune, and because it was in Belfast, he was convinced that they completely ignored him and they put on something else, just to try and annoy him, to try and get to him. Obviously it didn't work. He won comfortably, but
but in hindsight you say, I should have played that song, So,
but the good thing is you've plenty of time to work on something, and then it becomes, you can get your own.
I would always change. I would always change whatever it was. But I think it does benefit you to have a song that you stick with.
Well, when
it becomes a signature.
When I hear the Red Hot Chili Peppers now in that intro, I just think of Klitschko. So even watching
Simply the Best,
Eubank. Chris Eubank. Even a few weeks ago, David Hay was ringside, and they were playing the Whitehead McFadden song "Ain't No Stopping Us Now." They were playing it in the arena, but. He was part of the ringside, but I could see him bopping away to himself, because that was
going through his mind. Yeah, exactly. So, and in some ways they become like a switch or like a trigger. You know what I mean? So you hear that song and then you only put it on. Oh yeah, all the lights. That's a terrible song.
I know.
Like he's kind of stuck with it now. You can't get rid of it. You know what I mean? But you got to pick a classic. You can't pick a fatty song that sounds great today and then
it's got to be timeless.
Next year,
finished. But see, you can try out a few in the first few fights.
I'll mix it up, whatever happens.
And then maybe gauge.
Definitely. Send in a few suggestions.
Anyone listening or tuning in, if you have any suggestions for, it could be, it could be a trad song.
Include the YouTube of the video of the song so we can check it out.
Absolutely, it could be a banger of a tune. Could be, I liked Froch's one against Lucien Boutte.
What's that?
No Easy Way Out. From Rocky IV. Robert Tepper. It is that was effective.
You know your music, you know all the artists as well,
I know to do with ring walks. I'm terrible at music, and I have terrible taste, but I just, No Easy Way Out, because you kind of just associate it with one of those great montages from Rocky IV.
It's great. So, I had the Rocky song one of my fights, can't remember, but some of my good ones I fought in Memphis, and I had If You're Looking for Trouble by Elvis. That one?
Yeah.
Do you know that one?
That was a good one.
That was good.
See, crowd pleaser as well. But so that there is that side, the entertainment side of things. What were you like before fights in the amateurs, the few moments in the dressing room beforehand?
It's the same for everything, you know. I had a lot of fights in the amateurs, so just basically go in nice and relaxed, listen to some nice music, warm up some pads and get ready to fight. You know, it's kind of flows, doesn't it?
It's not a big deal. Like, the thing is,
I wouldn't leave anything like that get to me or anything. Just
it might be a bit
boxing.
different. The only advantage, you've fought without a headgear, you've fought without a vest. You know what I mean? As an amateur, you fought without a vest as an amateur. No, but
I sparred a lot.
He's never leaves a shirt on.
I presume you're confident enough in your body. You don't mind getting a bit of flesh out.
Weeks back.
But it is that's some adjustments. You know, just getting. He's been training in 8-ounce gloves. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I'm looking forward to using
the boxing in the talk.
8 ounce.
You're quiet, but I think it has to be, if you're naturally that way, then we might progress to that. But it has to be.
Andy, you weren't a smack talker.
Yeah, but my career might have not suffered, but you know, probably could have got a lot more fights. I've been more of, especially in this day and age, people kind of want a little bit of that. Yeah.
So you've got to start smashing.
It benefits you when you retire, in terms of how people hold you, and you never slagged anybody off, and people can't throw it back at you.
Yeah.
But while you're boxing, maybe we'll get
you a hype man. They used to have them in wrestling. What was his name? Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
Bobby the Brain, where they do the talking for you.
Crocodile.
Yeah. Would you do the talking?
Yeah, but in a nice way. But Pat, like,
I'll do it in the bad way.
Paddy do it in the ring.
What he meant to say is,
in the ring.
Like, I'd say you're both just can't wait to get going.
I'm excited. As I said, it's been a while coming over the last couple of months. We've been training.
It's my debut too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's a big deal for both of us.
Yeah.
But like, what? It's just going to be like, you have only a certain amount of time in between rounds to get your message across.
Yeah.
So all that would be.
We're working on it. Like, that's what I said. Usually in sparring, he'll do exactly what I tell him to do. And so that's obviously a good sign. But it's just about one or two things, but one or two things that you communicate in the clearest possible way. That's it. You don't tell him a million things, jab or go to the bottom. You know, it's not. You don't say things that contradict yourself either.
Yeah.
And you just keep it simple, nice and calm. His dad's going to be in the corner with us as well, so that'll be some continuation or continuity for him. You know, for Paddy, that there's a familiar voice there as well.
And that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, sure. It's always good to have your dad there. He's been on my corner for most of my fights, you know what I mean? Not at international level, but in the nationals and stuff, he's always been there. And it's a good feeling to have your dad there always beside you, you know?
Yeah,
it's good.
Well,
his dad's a bit of a smack talker now.
Yeah?
We'll get him
I want to know, if we're sitting ringside, are we going to hear you shouting out instructions?
No. Maybe one or two words, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all. I think it blocks you as a fighter if your coach is constantly ragging on you while you're in the ring fighting. I don't know. Like, there are certain things. If I see something that's like, you know, he's open for this or this or this, or get your head down, or, you know, whatever it is, or tighten up there. That's it. If it's like absolutely necessary for me to tell him something. But other than that, I think it blocks the fight, because he's trying to focus on what's in front of him and what's coming at him and what he has to do, how he's feeling.
Mainly when you're fighting like that, you're kind of tuned in anyway. You know what I mean? Even though the crowd can be quite loud, but
they're going to be loud.
Very concentrated.
You'll hear the voices that you know. You'll hear my voice. You'll hear your dad's voice. You might hear your cousins or even your family's voice. But if someone's outside the ring telling you, jab 1, 2, right hook, left hand, whatever it might be, you got to hear that. Listen to it, take it in, then try and do it, and then it's too late. The moment's gone. It's got to come. That's why even when he's sparring, I don't say too much, because I want him to find his own way.
It sounds like you're sorted for it anyway.
Yeah.
Just while we're talking about you training, there was a video I saw on social media there during the week. Jason Quigley was hammering away, and then I was like, I know that guy that's on the pads.
I know, it wasn't the most flattering video. I was thinking I just woke up out of bed.
Fix the hair.
I've been helping Jason. We've been training for a few weeks now. Obviously he's coming back from a bad loss. He's got to rebuild and find that hunger again, and find that fire, which I believe is there. But he's fighting December 6th, I believe it is, in California, and I'm going to train him for that fight.
Yeah.
That's it. So
I suppose, there's plenty of things you can learn off you in terms of obviously being a trainer, but your own journey. You suffered a defeat where, people probably would have expected a fight that people would have expected you to win, but you bounced back from it.
Yeah.
He was in with us a few weeks ago, and he's always so positive the way he talks, and I find him very refreshing. And the way he talked about how he doesn't need boxing, he's happy.
I know.
With life.
And I haven't really bridged this with him yet, but certainly when I lost a fight, I wouldn't want to be seen anywhere. I wouldn't even want to talk to people. I was kind of like, I was devastated, and I wouldn't. Maybe he's got the right idea. Maybe it is better to be positive and that. But what he's shown me in the gym shows me that outside of his attitude or what he puts in the public sphere, it might be totally actually different to what he's feeling inside. But what he's shown me in the gym is that he's working hard, and even within just a few weeks, just small adjustments are making a huge difference. So he's very teachable, and
which some people might not think he would be, because he's gone obviously from amateur, he's changed trainers, different styles as well, and now he's coming in to work with you.
I've seen him work with Andy from a couple of weeks back, and now we've seen him just a couple of days ago working. I could even see the improvements just looking on. They were doing pads together, and you could see there was a difference in his box.
The thing is, like, when you've lost a fight and you don't really know why, like, which it seems to be, you're just reaching out there for someone just to take you in and just say, look, this is how it's done. This is, you just want someone to take you under their wing and just put their arm around you and say, like, buy into this and you will improve. And that's what I'm doing. Well, like,
will you go to California with him?
Yeah, I'll be his coach. Yeah.
Will you get a trip to California?
I hope so.
Paddy's going to be the cup man.
Yeah, well, like, as you said, sometimes when fighters lose, there's a couple of reactions that happen. They can change trainer. They might change weight as well. They might decide, I go up a weight because it was the reason.
We're seeing how that's going to go. We've tested his body fat at the moment. I don't want to reveal too much because it might be too personal. We're testing his body fat
and his
weight. He's in good nick, but he has to come down a bit of weight too. He's actually heavier than he probably should be at the moment. So he has to come down, and then we'll just judge him after about 3 or 4 weeks of training consistently, where his weight is, where his body fat is, and his hydration levels, and see.
You're busy.
Oh man,
you are busy. Have you got any room for any of us in the office if you wanted to do any training with you?
The offer is out there for Kevin Kilbane. He was supposed to come down to us last week, but he pulled out on us.
Well, you know why?
But that's why he wanted to train. I said, come on, you can do a bit of it, we'll get you in shape.
His footwork's going to have to be excellent on the ice, isn't it?
It's got to get strong arms, got to be good footwork and balance.
He's going to be lifting as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the pressure is on him to lift his partner. So I don't even think I think he's only just started ice skating now as well. So I don't envy him. I think
Kevin, call us.
I think a charity kind of some sort of a boxing thing might have been easier for him.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing it though.
Oh yeah, he'll definitely tune in. You have an excuse to watch it now.
Yeah.
I mean, probably someone will probably watch it. Before we finish up, just a few other things. We mentioned obviously Wilder, Ortiz, Chisora Parker is off. Callum Smith is going to fight in Liverpool. He's going to take on John Ryder. I'm interested to hear what you think of 55-year-old Nigel Benn. Bit before your time, Paddy, but when we were growing up watching this lad,
you were growing up watching. Paddy wasn't even. Paddy was born in 1999.
What?
Paddy wasn't even around.
Italian 90s, 2000s. He was going against him. He was incredible.
So I don't know. Paddy can't even remember. Paddy wasn't even alive when he was boxing. So it's mad.
He was known as the Dark Destroyer. His fights were brilliant. You had the whole Ben Eubank, Ben Collins.
One of the best things you'll see on him, if you look on YouTube, you'll see him sparring Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
You ever see that clip?
I haven't actually, no.
It's class, yeah.
Go and watch
Nigel
it,
Ben goes over there, and you can see Duran is just like, he's probably not even, he's just like, I just turned up in the gym, and then Ben puts it up to him. Like, Ben's turned up in shape, ready to go with Duran. And then they end up having this great spar. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
And that is my concern for 55-year-old Nigel Benn, was he was always involved in tear-ups.
Yeah.
So, doesn't seem like a great idea.
No. But even the opponent, if he was going in with Steve Collins or Chris Eubanks, you say, well, there's a bit of a novelty factor to it. They're both same age, from the same generation. Yeah. Saki Obiko was a handful, and I'm sure he's still a handful to anybody during his day. So I don't.
Even Conor
I don't
Benn,
even know who's going to watch it. Who's going to?
I think
he
feels like he's missing something. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, so he said, this is the quotes from him when he was kind of asked about it. He said, all through his career he's been in a dark place from the age of 8. He was smoking, he was doing everything else until he was 41. Then found God, life changed. He says he wants to take this one more fight because he wants to be in that kind of headspace for it. But if you're 55, like, he hasn't taken punches.
Where does it go after this? If it's not going to be one fight. If it is just one fight, why fight Sakiobika? Why not just fight?
Maybe he just wants the challenge.
Anybody.
Maybe he just wants to say, I fought at 55 and I beat a guy that was a decent fighter, and I can now, I'm at peace now with it. But
hopefully,
that's the worry, is that he
goes again and again. I think he's going to not. I think he's not going to settle with one fight. I think he's going to go for a couple of more fights. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like, how long have you stopped boxing now, Andy?
2 years in February.
So, like, you're not in that fighting shape where even, like, he says he's as fit as a fiddle, but he hasn't been taking punches of the way he was when he was in his prime. If he takes a few body punches, he's not going to be as solid as he used to be.
Of course not. It's like, I don't even feel like talking on it. It's like some sort of, it's not like it's a bit of a freak show. It's not good. Like, it's just not good. You know what I mean? In any sense, any way around. And you hope that he can find some peace if he goes through with it and doesn't get hurt. That's the main thing, because you could seriously see him getting hurt, and that's
55, like, coming back. I think it's crazy, to be honest.
Before we go, one last thing. The World Women's Elite Boxing Championship start. We've got a team of 4. So we've got Ciara Smith, Michaela Walsh, Amy Broadhurst and Christina Desmond. They're in Siberia. You'd know a lot of these girls.
A couple of very good girls. 4 of them is actually very, very good.
Yeah. Like, obviously, Amy Broadhurst is in there. Kelly Harrington is not.
She's injured at the moment, I think. Well, that's going to be Kelly Harrington, Amy Broadhurst. He's 60 years. Like, that's as best you're going to get in the world right there, and we have in Ireland at the moment. So they're just as good as each other, I think. You know what I mean? Like, Amy has done a lot so far. She's almost 7 European medals, and you have Kelly Harrington, the world champion. Toombs in the one weight, the elites coming up, so that's going to be great as well. But they're good as each other on these elites, I think.
Yeah, like the
women, like the amateur women, are performing the men at the moment. Yeah. So, like, that's probably our best bet. Not our best bet, but, like, you could see there being an Olympic medal among the female team. So the investment that they put into female boxing and the time and the coaching is paying off. It's great.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and best of luck to them.
Just before as well, we have obviously a couple of Irish fighters this weekend on Friday in London. The Golden Contract, Joyce fights, and Tyrone McCullough fights. So we wish them well. Yeah, they got two tough fights as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and we wish both of you very well on the 11th of October, the Ulster Hall. It's going to be electric. Can't wait. Can't wait to hear. Can't wait to hear the walk-in tune.
Yeah.
And best of luck with it. And that's our lot for this week on Off the Brawl. We'll be back, and thanks for tuning in as always. Thanks very much.